What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Tori Amos, and we're returning to Boys for Pele, 1996, along with the Sleepy Luca here. And yes, the next track is Professional Widow, which is an interesting phrase. It seems like something where the distinction between amateur and professional would not likely appear. And of course, people have mentioned to me that on this album, maybe in particular, even beyond her allegorical, conceptual, and in some ways opaque songwriting more broadly, that the ability to decipher meaning or a specific narrative on a first listen for a lot of the tracks on this record will be difficult. So with that in mind, I'll just say that it makes me wonder if it could be a Black Widow type of character, someone who gets married only to off their spouses either for inheritance or maybe out of criminal pathology. Nevertheless, I do wonder whether there's a more, let's say, mundane meaning, and it's not so much about malintent or murderous practices, but someone who's just been married multiple times but keeps getting widowed by the passing of their spouse. So, of course, it could be none of the above. It could be something where widow is not being used in a direct or literal sense. Professional may relate to their occupation or their, what's the right word, their career. And it's not so much about being a widow professionally, but a professional woman who happens to be a widow. It'll probably be none of those things. It'll probably be none of the above. But let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Tori Amos. The track is Professional Widow, and it's from the 1996 album Boys for Pele. Oof.
It's running in a family. Oh, it's running in a family. Hey, it's running in a family. Hey, baby, it's running in a family. Hey, Mother Mary, child, no, brown baby, sweet, child, baby, sweet. Mother Mary, child,
There's literally no collection of words in the English language I could utter after hearing that would sufficiently characterize the remarkable intensity, the vocal agility and diversity, and just the sheer powerful creativity. I mean, that's just insane. I think I've made this comparison a couple times along the Tori journey, but even though some of the music is different, her voice is a bit different, in terms of just like sheer and unmistakable, unique creativity, I feel like she's on the level of someone like Kate Bush. In terms of like, there's been multiple times in that deep dive where a song finishes and it's like, I don't even know what to say. Like, what did we just hear? And I feel like that's the case with Tori. And even though we're only very early in this album, I feel like this album has taken that level of experience and the just wild impact of her tunes to another level. So, fair to say, I did not hear, I'd say, the majority of the lyrics clearly. I heard bits and pieces of words here and there, including a couple lines where, like, I'm not sure I'm hearing them right, but they sounded very stark and, what's the right word? Like visceral. Also, it's seemingly another reference to her father, which I remember people commented on Father Lucifer that, like, wasn't it that her dad was like, wait, so, like, is this a song that you wrote about me? So I wonder, in this case, if there would have been a similar reaction, like, wait, like, are you saying this is autobiographical? But it did sound like there was some danger in there, but also some visceral sensuality, for lack of a better word. I enjoy, again, the diversity of her vocal performance. We have some extensions, some rapidly rising crescendos, sort of some moments where she's going off the rails a little bit in terms of the, being inside the melodic pocket. A couple lines where, like, the end of her line, it's almost entirely breath. There's no actual voice, which that was a really interesting and enjoyable flourish, because it left me sort of breathless hearing her. It's like she's given everything she can with her voice, but she's still pushing beyond that to the point where it's literally just wind, and the emotion that conveys is again very intense. And speaking of intense, a word I've said probably 7 times already in this outro, the harpsichord, I think that is, it sounds like if you took a Baroque piece and then made it wicked and discordant and, sort of like a rock star was playing it. So that was very powerful and, like, overwhelming almost, in a good way. It definitely had a very striking character, but it made me feel a bit like, oh God, like, what's coming? What darkness is entailed or imbued in this harpsichord playing. And there were also some true piano little flourishes, which were a bit more sonorous and melodic. But then we get changes of tempo, changes of arrangement and intensity, meaning there are parts which are bigger and fuller, but then it would, like, narrow down and clear out, and it'd be a very minimal arrangement. And then it began like a almost like a marching quality, and like the beat structure changed, so a very dynamic tune vocally, rhythmically, and in terms of arrangement or sonic ingredients, instrumental parts. So again, I really don't know what it's about, though. Again, I felt like there was maybe, like, was it Poison? I'm trying to remember. But there was a couple references that sounded like they could be violent or fatal, and then some other references that, as I said, sounded like maybe they were sensual, but maybe referenced in a way that was a bit shocking or striking. So yeah, it's one of those that I'll have to listen to multiple times, though one of the great things about running this channel and doing these deep dives is that longtime fans of the band are keen to give information, their own takes, and indeed, I referenced Kate Bush. In that deep dive, there's been a lot of cases where, even if there's some songs where it's like, this is pretty clearly what it's about, there's been others where different fans have given different interpretations and saying, it's not really clear, and she's never given any direct statements about it, so I do wonder what people have to say about this one thematically, but just a tune where, again, like, you listen to it and it washes over you and it arrests your brain and it finishes, and my immediate thought is, like, there's no other artist like this. Again, I search for comparisons because when you listen to scores of music and different artists, inevitably your brain is making some synaptic connections. Oh, it kind of reminds me of this, or she has a similar style as this artist, and so on. But in their different ways, they're just, people like Kate Bush, Tori Amos, and some others, they're just off on their own planet, and this album is reinforcing that notion more than anything I've heard from her so far. So, wild, intense, crazy, and very, very compelling is my summary of my response to that one. Luca, indeed, she couldn't sit comfortably. She had to get up and move because she was so stunned by what she was hearing as well. Do let me know what you think of this, and I will see you next time. Peace.